What does a bar graph look like? It has two lines which are perpendicular to each other like this, and we have a few bars like these to denote each category. The lengths of the bars can be used to find data as well as compare data. But how do we draw or construct a bar graph? Let's look at an example. The area of certain countries is given below. Represent them on a bar graph. Area given in thousands of square kilometers. So we have the data for 4 countries A, B, C and D. And we are given the area for each of the countries. Remember, they are in thousands of square kilometers. So the area of country A would be 400,000 square kilometers. How do we draw a bar graph for this data? First, let's draw a rough sketch to understand how it might look like. We would have 2 perpendicular lines like these. To know how tall the bars are, we can have the area on the vertical line. More the area, bigger the bar. And we can represent the countries on the horizontal line. Looking at the table, we can see that the country D has the maximum area, followed by A, B and C. The bars would probably look like this. D with the maximum area, followed by A and then B and C. Now that we have an idea, we can see how it's actually constructed. To achieve precision, we can draw the bar graph on a graph paper. The first step is to draw a horizontal and a vertical axis. Let them be OX and OY. So we draw 2 perpendicular lines and name them OX and OY. OX is called the horizontal axis and OY is called the vertical one. The next thing we need to do is label the axis. We generally have the quantity we want to represent on the vertical axis, also referred to as the y-axis. So we represent the area on the y-axis and the countries on the x-axis as the horizontal axis. Now we know that the bars would look like this. And then we come to the most important step of choosing a suitable scale. Look at the numbers we have. We have 400, 250, 120 and 620. We have to represent these values on the y-axis. Imagine if we use continuous natural numbers on the y-axis, how long would our y-axis be? It means that having numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on would not make sense. How about having multiples of 100? Numbers like 100, 200, 300 and so on up to 700. We stopped at 700 as we have no countries with area more than 700. We could not stop at 600 as we have a 620 here. But wait, what is the scale we have chosen? The distance between any 2 continuous thick bars on a graph paper is 1 centimeter. And every centimeter is divided into 10 equal parts, each part being 1 millimeter long. So the scale we have chosen here is 1 centimeter is equal to 100,000 square kilometers on the y-axis. It means that every centimeter on the y-axis is 100,000 square kilometers. And we have the countries A, B, C and D on the x-axis. We are done with the difficult part and we are all set to make appropriate bars for each country. What do you think will be the length of the bar for country A? We know that 1 centimeter is equal to 100,000 square kilometers. For country A, the length of the bar will be 400 by 100, which equals 4 centimeters. Every centimeter covers 100 square kilometers. So 4 centimeters from the axis would be this point. And we draw a bar. This bar tells you that the area of a country A is 400,000 square kilometers. What we are essentially doing is scaling down the figures to fit the size of the page. Similarly, the length of bar for country B would be 250 by 100, which equals 2.5 centimeters. It will be this point, 2 centimeters and half a centimeter. And we draw the bar for country B. Now the calculation for country C gets a little interesting. The length of the bar will be 120 by 100, which equals 1.2 centimeters. Each centimeter on the graph is divided into 10 parts of 1 millimeter each. 1.2 centimeters is 1 centimeter and 2 millimeters. So the bar will be drawn up to this point, 1 centimeter and 2 millimeters. For D, the length of the bar will be 620 by 100, which equals 6.2 centimeters. It will be this point, 6 centimeters and 2 millimeters. We draw the final bar for country D. We're almost done with the bar graph. After drawing all the bars, it is important to give the graph a title. An appropriate title for this graph would be areas of countries. If we compare the areas of these 4 countries, we can say that D is the country with the highest area and C is the country with the least area. All the steps we have seen are pretty simple and get a bit methodical. The only step that requires a bit of thinking is choosing a suitable scale.